Here are 6 common mistakes that lifters make on the leg press and easy ways to fix them. The first one is when you come to the top of the move, locking out your knees. When you press the sled up and your legs straighten, don't straighten them so much that your knees lock out like this. Why? This takes the load off the muscles in your legs and puts it into your knee joint, which can cause the bones to rub together. How to fix this? Stop when your knees are at around 10 degrees. If you don't have a protractor handy, imagine that you're standing up and someone tells you to soften your knees. That soften spot, it's a good angle to stop. Mistake number 2 is performing the move with your heels hanging off the bottom of the pad. When you're doing a leg press, you want to be able to produce maximum force by pushing through your whole foot. Now, if your heel is not on the foot pad, you can't use your whole foot. So the exercise becomes less efficient. So to fix it, keep your whole foot on the foot pad and focus on pressing through the middle of your foot. Mistake number 3 is lowering the sled too far. If you lower the sled too far, you can see my hips can start to round and then your low back can start to round. This can lead to injury. So to fix it, only lower until before the point where your hips start to round, long before your back comes off the pad. When your hips start to round up, that is your stopping point. If you don't know where that spot is, you can ask someone to watch you do a set from the side or film it with your phone. You can also help keep your butt on the pad by lowering your feet from up here to down here on the foot pad. The next mistake is shallow reps. So in the last one, we were lowering too far. Now we're talking about not lowering far enough. Unless you have a physical therapist that tells you to do this, you're not getting as much out of the exercise, according to our experts. And what's probably happening is you have too much weight on the sled. So to fix it, use a weight that you can control for a full depth. The next mistake is that your knees cave in or out as you lower. Now, if your knees cave in, you're at a much higher risk for an injury, especially an ACL tear. You also don't want your knees to push out too much. Whenever you're doing this exercise, you want your knees to track over your toes. One way to fix if your knees are caving in is to place a mini band around your legs above your knees. As you do the move, you don't want to press out against the band too much, but you just want to make sure that it doesn't go slack because your knees caved in. The next mistake is ripping through your reps, just flying through them. Now, going through the reps at lightning speed like this reduces the amount of time under tension, which reduces the amount of time that your muscles are being trained. But another thing that it does is you may not notice if your knees are caving in, if your back is coming off the pad, or if your knees are locking out. So a better idea is to try this pace. Go down for a count of 2, hold for a count of 1, press up for a count of 2, hold for a count of 1, and repeat.